Hi there, welcome back to my guides and tutorials. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and show you how to do the plumbing for your gas. So if you've watched other videos, I've got a 4.5 kilogram bottle of colour. I got my regulator was for a red bottle, that's propane, but I ended up with butane because of supply and demand. It's really hard to get gas just now. I don't know if any of you have noticed. So finally the correct regulator's turned up, so I'll be able to get my gas connected. I've found a couple of other problems that I'm going to show you throughout the process of this video. So this is the connector adapter that you need for one of the domestic appliances that you get on like Amazon, eBay and whatnot, and they're twin burner stoves. They're now being sold as campervan usage stoves, but in actual fact, when you get them and you put them in the van, you find that you've got the grill thing, which is basically your pot holder that sits on top. There's no way of securing it. You also find that the burner plates that sit in the middle, there's no way of securing them either. So you end up with a few parts and pieces that you end up having to put onto the cooker when it's in use, which is not really ideal in a camper van. You want things to be as easy to use as possible. Otherwise you're going to spend a lot of your leisure time assembling and disassembling stuff that really you shouldn't have to. So we're going to talk a little bit about the solutions to that problem. The hose itself is just standard hose that you can get in any camper van shop or whatever, but I've been doing all my buying online because with the COVID-19 everything's been shut and it's just been online purchasing for me. So yeah, you get a couple of little Jubilee clips like that size, and they go on the hose, and that will attach it at both ends. You just cut the hose to length, and then you attach it to this end, which will be on the cooker, and then to this end on your regulator. Your gas bottle will have a screw-in valve at the top, so that you have to make sure you close that when it's not in use. That's another one of your get ready to cook tasks. Open your gas. Now the good thing about these cookers, I'm going to show you this cooker in a little minute. The good thing about them is you don't always need to use a lighter to ignite the gas. You also have mains power for obviously when it's used in a household. So if you've got your van equipped properly and it's on electric hookup, you can just use the igniter switch. Otherwise, it can still be used with matches or one of these long nose lighters. So you just make sure all your gas is set up, and you can ignite it from a lighter as well if you're sort of off grid, which a lot of you will be. The solution that I've got for tying down the biggest bracket that I've already shown you, this one here, I've not got the materials for it yet, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap the corner, just tie it down with a builder's bracket, which is kind of like, it's a thin pliable metal piece with holes in it, and you'll sometimes see it tying up sort of drain pipes and whatnot on properties. So I'm just going to wrap a couple of corners with that, tuck it round the side of the cooker. It won't look pretty, but it'll hold it down. I'll screw it into the framework of my cabinet, and that will prevent it from being able to work its way loose, because the only outcome that I can see here is if I hit a pothole or a bump, which there's many of them around here, the only outcome for me is that grill on the top of my cooker is going to go smashing through my window, which is a big disaster in the making. The actual centerpieces, which I've before mentioned, that are also going to be loose, I mean, I can't actually come up with a solution for that. All I've done is I've got hold of a little black bag, So the process for me where it be cooking will be to open my gas up, get the cooker ready and put these on each time, which again, it's no ideal, but it's certainly better than the possibility of them bouncing through that window there, which is at the back of the cooker. So I'll get together now, I'll get all my bits and pieces out, I'll get underneath the cooker and I'll do my attachments. I'll try and get photographs of it, because I mean, I'm on my own here, I'm videoing with my phone, so to try and video the process as such and do it at the same time with two hands is quite difficult. So I hope you appreciate that the next section, as I do it, it'll just be images that I'll be able to show. But it's self-explanatory anyway, so we'll just do that and we'll take it from there, and I'll do another little talk through at the end and demonstrate the cooker actually igniting and working. Okay. Right, so here's the cooker here that we're currently installing today. What I forgot to mention before was, if you just look in here, excuse the dust and whatnot, it's neat and cleaned. That there is your jet. Now with these cookers, there's another thing that I need to mention. You get a couple of spare jets. Now they're not spare jets, they're actually jets that you have to change in order to convert this cooker from mains gas for in a property to using like a bottle such as that. So the jets come in different sizes, and you get like a little booklet thing, and it will give you the sizes to use in that booklet. So I'm not sure if you'll be able to see this on the video, but at the top side of these wee jets, you'll not really see it in these bags either, but at the top side it gives you the diameter of the jet, and so these booklets will tell you what jet to put in for what type of gas that you're using. So that's going to be my first task, is just to change these jets. So this is the underside of my cooker. That bit there just goes on there like that. Now you have to make sure you get this nice and tight without damaging the threads, obviously. So what I'm going to use, just to beef it up, I've got a wee adjustable spanner here. Now I acquired this spanner because it happens to be small enough to keep in the van and about the right size for actually attaching the regulator nut onto the gas bottle. As you can see, it opens up just wide enough. There we go. So I'll be keeping this in the van, obviously, so that I can change my bottle. Now, these bottles are readily available at petrol stations and whatnot as well up and down the country, so quite easy to get hold of if you're not able to get that size at your local campsite. So I'll just give that a wee beef up, and that's that connected there. Obviously I'll have to connect my hose onto the top of there, and then I'll jubilee that end in place. Right, so that's the cooker fully installed now with working gas. I'm going to be totally honest with you, so changing the jets, as I was calling them, they're actually called injectors, to the different size. I've attached a photograph with a table, just in case any have not got the paperwork for the jet size required. Injector size, as they're actually called, I found out by the paperwork. But yeah, actually changing them, the smaller ring on the hob, it was an absolute nightmare. I'm glad I never video recorded it, because there was a lot of cursing and swearing going on. You can't actually get your fingers in to get the first turn on the jet, so you're in there with snipe nose pliers and whatnot, and trying to make sure you don't cross thread it. Bit difficult. The socket that I was using was too deep, if you know what I mean. So when you actually put the injector into the socket and then try to get your turn on it, the injector was just pushing up inside the socket. So it was fun and games, to say the least. So I'll give you a wee video now of it working. So I've actually got, obviously I've not got the ability to just plug it in here because I'm actually sitting on the street, but I did purchase a wee lighter here, right, and it's long reach, as you can see. So yeah, that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to keep this in the van and have that for lighting the cooker. So first things first, I need to I'm going to turn my camera around so you can see what I'm doing. Right, so the first thing is to turn on the gas here. So just at the bottle. Now you have to make sure your bottle's actually secured. I personally don't think there's any need for having it in a cabinet, as long as you're using it in a safe manner. So there, we'll turn the gas on at the stove. You can hear that coming through. That was a bit unsuccessful. So there's the cooker lit. It's hard to get a video of because what I didn't realise was to actually get the gas flowing initially, you have to hold this switch down, which I can't hold down and use the camera. But as you can see, it's all working fine. So you have to remember though, when you're using these gas cookers in a van, that when you turn it off, it's not just a case of turning it off and forget about it. You must always remember to come in and just as a safety precaution, turn your bottle off so that you know that you've not got any leaks. Always remember to turn the bottle off. Also make sure that it's secured in the van. I've got a strap around mine just now. I'm going to build in some feet just to make sure that it can't move about. You don't want it to move about. You have to have it as secure as possible in the event of an accident, and just to make sure that even if you're heavy on the brakes, you don't want it to be able to rock or anything. So safety comes first. Make sure you put a couple of straps in there, make sure it's got feet and it's not going to be able to slide on the floor. But yeah, back to the cooker. So when you're finished using this cooker, you've got this sitting loose and these sitting loose. I'll not touch that one in case it's hot. But yeah, basically I'm going to be putting these bits in a bag and I'm going to be tying down that corner. I'm going to loop it round with a metal cable, that corner and the far corner there, so that this part will be able to just sit, because it's obviously quite a large part and it's going to take up a bit of room. So that's going to be able to just sit there, and once it's screwed in sort of underneath the cabinet here, that'll kind of hold everything in place. But the centre pieces, these will be kept in a storage bag just next to the gas bottle. So that concludes my video today. I hope it's been helpful for everybody that's watching it. Please like and subscribe to my video channel. I'll keep trying to put on helpful videos. If there's anything with Vauxhall Vivaro or a campervan home build or whatnot that you would like to know, just hit me up in the comments, and if I know the answer I'll get back to you as soon as possible. If not, I'll try and help you find a solution to the problem that you've encountered. So yeah, please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching today.